Okay, it seems like we've got a good group going here, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Thank you all so much for being here today. This is going to be a really great workshop, a lot of really great content. This is an advanced workshop, and we're going to be covering the quiet power of intelligent marketing. My name is Mandy, and with me today is Callie. We'll do formal introductions here in a second. Before we do get started with introductions, agenda, all that good stuff, we do have a few required slides that we do have to get through. So just bear with us as we go through these really quick. So we appreciate you being here since this program is optional and discusses best practices for your consideration. If you are thinking of adopting any of them, please make sure to review the requirements in your region with your manager, including those related to contacting consumers. As a real estate agent, you can tap into AI tools like Microsoft Copilot, our recommended tool, to create reports, presentations, emails, and marketing materials. It can help streamline tasks and boost efficiency. Remember, AI isn't always spot on, so it is essential you proofread and ensure the information is accurate because ultimately you are responsible for the content. When using AI-generated content, consider adding a disclosure, such as content generated with AI assistance. Also, stay compliant with copyright laws, ethical standards, and fair housing regulations. Lastly, exercise good judgment, protect confidential information, and review AI-generated content thoughtfully. We do want to highlight the importance of the Telephone Consumer Protection Act, better known as TCPA. The general rules are that it is okay to call people if that person recently gave you their phone number, but remember to check the DNC list regularly if they haven't spoken to that person in a while. You'll also want to check the DNC list anytime you don't have permission. Automated calling and texting platforms should never be used. Pre-recorded messages and artificial voices should never be used, and you'll be personally liable for any violations of the TCPA. And then here's how you can access that DNC list. And so with that, I want to get started on today's agenda. Again, thank you so much for joining us today. In today's workshop, we're going to cover, explore how intelligent marketing can really help you attract and retain those elite listings. We'll cover a quick introduction to the luxury marketing team. We'll talk about what we mean by intelligent marketing and how we evaluate each opportunity before anything goes live. We'll touch on how we define and communicate value, how data really guides our decisions, and how all of that shows up in your listing presentation materials. We'll also point you to some key resources and recommendations that you can lean on, and we'll wrap up with some time for questions. And just a note there too, all cameras and mics are disabled at this point, but we will enable those when we have our live Q&A at the end. Feel free to share questions in the chat until then, any comments, anything that you want to share. We'd love to make this as interactive as possible, and then we'll have some open floor time here at the end. So with that, I want to give a quick introduction to our team, the team supporting these incredible initiatives, and then the presenters here today. So my name is Mandy Forbeck. I am the Luxury Marketing Manager for the Northwest, Northern California, and Hawaii. And with me today is Callie. Callie, do you want to give a quick introduction to yourself as well?
Hi, everyone. My name is Callie Freed. I'm the Luxury Marketing Specialist for the Mid-Northeast, which is New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, as well as Minnesota, Missouri, and Ohio.
Thank you. And the Global Luxury Marketing Team, I want to go to the next slide here. It covers every major luxury market with 15 experienced luxury marketing managers and specialists across the country to really deliver that personalized support, strategy, and innovation to our agents. So this map here gives you a little quick visual overview of the area supported by our expert team. We'll also share a document with every team member's coverage area and contact information with our resources at the end of the presentation. So that'll give you everyone's contact information in your region, so you can be sure to reach out if you have any questions or want to get started on some of these luxury marketing strategies. So with that, let's first start today's workshop by defining what intelligent marketing really is, because that's really going to be the foundation of winning these elite luxury listings. So intelligent marketing uses data to guide decisions and strategy, not guessing what might work or taking that scattered approach, hoping that something lands. We're not trying to reach everyone. We're focused on reaching the right someone. It's really that tailored approach designed for the specific buyer who will genuinely recognize the value of the asset. And that's exactly what affluent sellers want today. They want an agent who understands the strategy behind every step of the transaction, including the marketing. When sellers see that our approach is intentional, thoughtful, and customized, that's when that trust really takes root and confidence starts to build. So now let's take a look at how our approach to intelligent marketing actually wins those elite listings. So first, we start with discovery, which is what really builds that trust. When you walk into a listing appointment already understanding the market, the property, and the seller, you've really demonstrated that you take this opportunity seriously. You're showing respect for the asset before you even propose that strategy. Then comes precision, which is going to build that confidence. Sellers feel reassured when they see that we're not just trying a handful of tactics to see what happens. We're actually curating that plan based on who the actual buyer is. That level of selectivity signals professionalism and expertise. And then finally, we have story, which is really what creates that differentiation. Anyone can list a home, but very few can position the home. And that story is going to begin with you, your brand, your voice, and the way you communicate value. So that's the narrative you convey to the client, and it really sets the tone for how their home will be represented. So first, we're going to circle back to discovering that property. So Callie, can you please share some strategies with us to help best prepare for that listing opportunity?
Yes, I can. Opportunity analysis is going to be your first step in understanding the full landscape around the listing opportunity. Let's jump slides here. Great. So it's important to do your homework before you begin the marketing conversation. It's better that you understand the home, the history, the client, and the target demographic. The more precise and compelling your story is when you explain your marketing strategy, the better it will be perceived by your client. So doing this upfront work will make you come across stronger, smarter, and fully in control in that conversation. Sellers can really feel that preparation. And when you show up informed and educated, you're already delivering value before you mention a single tactic. Property discovery is so much more than the bedroom count or the square footage, though of course that matters. You'll pull the comps and build a CMA, but you also need a true understanding of the neighborhood, the architectural style, the home's unique features like stonework, tech enhancements, and high-end appliances, and its history.
Yeah, this really makes me think of the Seattle area. There's just so many nuances between our high-end neighborhoods. For instance, Initai is a lot of like large, modern waterfront homes, while Clyde Hill is more focused on sweeping views and walkability. And even still, we have Mercer Island, which really gives that small town feel with neighborhood events, great schools, family-oriented lifestyle. So all of this can really play into your discovery here, making sure you understand those neighborhoods, those properties that you're going to visit, and make sure you understand all those little nuances. So yes, absolutely.
Yeah, 100%. Totally. Even here in Pennsylvania, we have agents who work on listings in Center City as well as the main line in the Philly suburbs. So they need to be well versed in a variety of those neighborhood nuances, like the home styles, parking for a high rise, and the features that make a Chester County colonial and everything in between. So you should know everything from whether the community is gated or historic, all the way down to the small details, even the rhythm of the neighborhood events. Nothing undermines a neighborhood expert faster than suggesting a listing go live on the same day as a community cleanup event. We really recommend using every resource available, and I recommend pulling a title report first before you even open your CMA tool, because that will give you an early look at who the seller is on paper and provide recorded details about the property. You can also check the MLS for listing history. Many of you might discover that it was recently listed by another agent, so look at how it was marketed, what price it held, and review any past materials if you can find them. And then take it a step further and think about the story behind the property. How are you going to tell it? This is where our classes like marketing your luxury listings and the art of storytelling really help. If anyone has attended any of those or is thinking about it, I highly recommend it. And don't forget resources like the trend report, which is full of data points and trends that can strengthen your listing presentation and give you powerful talking points. Beyond the MLS and title reports, search online or use Microsoft Copilot to see if the property's been featured in media or received past PR. That's essential to know before looping in our PR team. And once you've gathered your research, you can reach out to our luxury marketing team for further steps in media opportunities or listing support. So in preparation for that listing appointment, you shouldn't just research the property, but you should also take time to learn about your prospective seller, their motivations, their overall financial and real estate profile. This is the level of preparation that those luxury clients are expecting of you. And Wealth Engine is an exclusive tool for luxury property specialists, which offers far more than prospecting. You can use it to look up an individual or a property address to get insight into the seller's real estate portfolio, wealth scores, interest, and other key data points. And you can see an example of that here on the screen. Walking into the listing appointment already understanding who they are and what they value will put you steps ahead of the other people going into those listing appointments. And as we've learned in the 2026 trend report, today's luxury sellers are looking for more than just a marketer. They want a trusted advisor. They expect agents who can make recommendations that complement their lifestyle and support their long-term growth of their real estate portfolio. So the more you know about their current holdings and financial position, the more confidently and strategically you can guide the conversation throughout your listing presentation. And lastly, I recommend doing a quick online and social media search as well. It seems simple, but it can reveal a lot, like other things about their lifestyle, their priorities, and sometimes even give clues as to why they might be selling if you don't already know that. All of this will help you tailor your approach, connect to them more authentically, and speak to what matters most. Once your research is done on both the listing and the seller, the next part of your preparation should be crafting your value proposition. What do you want them to know about you? Your value proposition isn't about the number of marketing tactics you offer. It's about how your expertise, your positioning, and the power of the brand come together to create unmatched representation. Here's the piece that really matters in the luxury space. What differentiates you isn't just what you do. It's how clearly you communicate your value and the brand you've built as an agent. Luxury sellers are going to be evaluating you from the moment that you sit down. So they're listening for clarity. They're watching for confidence. They want to see that you understand the market at a level that they can't get from a simple Google search. And they expect every recommendation that you make to have intention behind it. That's why it's so important to talk about your value and what sets you apart. Your track record, your style of representation, the way you think, the way you're going to protect the asset, and the way your brand aligns with the strategies that you're presenting to them. The seller needs to understand that your approach isn't random or reactive, but it's strategic, thoughtful, and rooted in the expertise that you bring to the table. That's the moment you shift from being just another agent to being the advisor who's going to guide them through a high stakes transaction. And on that note, it's important for both you and your seller to understand that you're backed by one of the best real estate brokerages in the industry. The Coldwell Banker Global Luxury Program is setting a gold standard for excellence in luxury real estate marketing. The numbers speak for themselves. Last year alone, Coldwell Banker agents closed an impressive $80 billion in sales of single-family homes priced over $1 million. That equates to $220 million in luxury sales every day in 2024. Not only that, but Coldwell Banker is also a leader in the ultra luxury space with $5 billion in sales volume for properties priced over $10 million last year. These are powerful statistics to share with your client and on social media to continue reinforcing our expertise and credibility in the high-end market. Throughout today's presentation, we'll explore how to incorporate these different figures into your marketing and client conversations to elevate your global luxury pitch. But to give you a few notes so you can feel confident going into that presentation and speaking on our program, here are some talking points that you can share directly with your seller to sell them on global luxury. So regarding our global reach, you might say something like, we're an international company, not just a company that advertises internationally. Unlike other brokerages that patch together international networks, we have a true master franchise system spanning 45 countries and territories, providing every luxury property specialist a direct connection to over 96,000 of their peers around the world.
Yes, and as Callie just said, obviously one of my favorites is just speaking to our proven success. Obviously, clients want to know how successful we've been in this space. So you could share this stat that with the power of the Coldwell Banker Global Luxury name behind me, I can deliver results that outperform the market. Our numbers tell the story. In 2024, Coldwell Banker affiliated agents handled over 220 million in luxury sales every single day with an average sales price of 1.9 million.
That's a great one. And highlighting our email marketing advantage, today, every home buyer starts online. In fact, 100% of buyers use the internet during their home search, and 43% say their very first step was browsing online listings. That's why Coldwell Banker brand makes it significant investments in company-paid digital tools and initiatives to ensure your property is seen where buyers are looking first. And then looking at data via our exclusive reports and marketing intelligence. If you're a certified luxury property specialist, you might say something like, I used advanced wealth intelligence tools like Wealth Engine to pinpoint high net worth individuals most likely to be interested in your home, allowing for direct one-to-one outreach that goes far beyond traditional marketing. Leveraging insights from Coldwell Banker's award-winning resources like the Trend Report and Mid-Year Report, I can tailor our strategy around real-time market behavior, trends, and luxury buyer preferences, helping position your home for maximum interest and stronger offers.
I especially love that talking point because that just coincides perfectly with our conversation today around intelligent marketing. And then the last one we wanted to share is promoting our broker to broker networking opportunities, which is just unmatched. So in luxury real estate, connections can be just as powerful as traditional marketing. Through Coldwell Banker's internal platforms and curated broker events, your property gains early and exclusive exposure to the most influential agents in the industry.
Thank you, Mandy. That's the perfect segue for us to highlight the amazing opportunities that come with being a luxury property specialist. With access to the full luxury property specialist network, there are numerous opportunities to make connections locally as well as nationally. On the local level, you can leverage the list to invite local luxury specialists to events like open houses, something that would appeal to your clients looking for a wider but still exclusive reach. And as a luxury property specialist, you also receive exclusive invites to our larger national global luxury events, like this quarter at Luxury, where Michael Altanu provides regular program updates, or our in-person events, like cocktail receptions at Gen Blue and Luxury on Location, which took place in 3 different cities across the country. At these events, you have the opportunity to make connections, get referrals, and speak with agents and executives you might not otherwise have the chance to meet in person. I had the pleasure of attending Luxury on Location in Boston earlier this year, where I got to meet agents from all over the country, including some of my agents from Ohio who made the trip all the way up there to grow their luxury network. And I actually witnessed agents actively making connections and getting referrals, some of which are actually now in the works to go live, which is really exciting for me. Mandy, you got the chance to go to Luxury on Location in LA, which looked amazing. And we have photos from here and even drew in our new CEO, Robert Refkin. So how was that?
Yes, and that bottom right photo is from one of the listings we got to tour. So can you blame me? I absolutely loved it. It was an amazing trip. And I think, yeah, it was just so much fun. It was great to connect with the new leadership, meet some of these top luxury agents that I haven't had the chance to meet yet. And all the feedback I'm hearing from my agents is just how impactful these events really are. I actually had one of my luxury agents who went to all 3 of the Luxury on Location events, and he just speaks to how much this impacts and benefits his business, you know, building these relationships with top agents to be able to rely on for referrals and networking and all of that great stuff. And that's just such a theme we're talking about today, is to kind of take it to that next step and become that luxury advisor. And so building those relationships just gets you one step closer to that.
Yeah.
So with that, I now want to transition, now that we've established our value proposition, including how to really speak to yourself as that luxury advisor and backed by our Elite Global Luxury program, we're really going to transition into that precision so sellers feel confident in our curated plan. Today's luxury market requires strategy, and data really is your guiding light. Buyers and sellers expect you to reference patterns, trends, and analytics in your decision making. Data shows intention, and intention builds that credibility. We're definitely seeing a shift in the luxury behavior, and it's really reshaping how you show up as agents. So, on the seller side, clients are more sophisticated than ever, as I'm sure we're all seeing. They're really expecting that clear rationale behind every move, and they want someone who feels like that true strategic partner, not just someone who puts a sign in the yard and hopes for the best. And then for agents, that means really shifting from doing more to doing smarter. Lead that conversation with clarity, be intentional with our recommendations, and then educate our clients without overwhelming them. It's really that balance. But when you get it right, it really elevates that entire experience. So this shift really isn't temporary, it's the new standard. And honestly, it creates this huge opportunity for those of us who are prepared to step into that advisory role. So now that we've established that shift towards data, how do we use that data for targeted marketing? Intelligent marketing isn't about casting the widest net. It's really about being intentional and narrowing in on the people who are actually most likely to buy the home. We're looking at buyer behavior, not guesswork. Who's engaging? What patterns are we seeing? And that's where really working closely with the marketing team like ourselves can really make that huge difference. We can help you understand what the data is really telling you so you're not just sending things out into the void. And then tools like Wealth Engine that we've already talked about, they can actually also help you build that refined prospect list instead of a generic audience. So then you're targeting buyers who actually fit that profile, people who have the interest, the capacity, and the lifestyle alignment for that property. Callie, you had an example of this, right?
Yeah, it's true. I've been working with so many agents lately in a variety of metropolitan areas who are using Wealth Engine to build prospect lists for their listings using really specific characteristics and parameters, from potential real estate investors for luxury condos to car collectors who might be interested in homes with a multi-level garage. It's really amazing how untapped this tool is for targeting specific and unique buyers based on just a few different characteristics.
Yeah. And this just shows when your decisions are based on how buyers truly behave, your entire marketing strategy becomes sharper, smarter, and way more powerful. So now that we've defined what intelligent targeted marketing is and why it's important, let's establish how we do that. To build that smarter audience, I first want you to think of it in these 4 dimensions. So first is geographic targeting. So this is all about reaching buyers from the right feeder markets, those affluent zip codes, the lifestyle hubs, the regions where people are most likely to be looking for exactly what your listing offers. That might mean studying the feeder markets for your listing zip code or identifying which areas attract buyers who want that specific lifestyle that your property provides. It's all about aligning your outreach with the places that your ideal buyer already lives or aspires to live. And then next is demographic targeting. So here you're considering the income levels, the life stage, the family structure. For example, we know Gen X buyers often value that multi-generational living. So a property with multiple dwellings or flexible spaces might speak directly to them. We also know that not all luxury buyers are the same. So you've got Henrys, those high earners not rich yet, looking for their first luxury home, and also ultra high net worth buyers who may already have several. So a 1 to 2 million home might be perfect for that Henry who's stepping into the market, but it's probably not the forever home for that ultra high net worth client. However, it could be an incredible investment opportunity for them, which really brings us into that lifestyle targeting. So lifestyle targeting focuses on passions, priorities, and how a buyer really wants to use the property. If it's an excellent investment property, maybe for that ultra high net worth client, you might target business professionals or wealth managers. If it has architectural significance or a curated art collection, then reaching buyers who value design, culture, and creativity becomes your priority. You're connecting the property to the buyer's identity. And then last is behavioral targeting. This is where retargeting becomes super powerful. If someone has already clicked, browsed, or spent time on the listing, they've shown that intent. Those warm leads are often some of your best leads. You already know that the property caught their attention. So together, all four of these dimensions can really help you create that marketing strategy that's not only smart, but incredibly intentional. Now that we've established the four dimensions that we really need to consider for targeted marketing, let's see how we can use our trusty tool AI to help build that buyer profile. AI is useful when you're trying to get clear on who your most likely buyer actually is. Instead of guessing, it really helps you paint that detailed picture of that person. It can pull out things like what motivates them, the lifestyle they live, the demographics they fall into, what triggers their decision making, how they discover those properties, and even what they tend to be sensitive to in a listing. All you have to do is use the right prompts, and then it will help you refine your strategy and articulate exactly who you're targeting and why that specific buyer would recognize the value of the home. On the right-hand side, as you can see on my slide here, we show a sample prompt that you can use to identify this buyer profile. So you can ask AI to outline that likely buyer by pairing it with extensive knowledge about the property. So this becomes a really great place to include all that research that you've already done about the property that we talked about earlier. So this will just help you build that buyer profile with AI. And then once you've established who your buyer likely is, what's next? Now we have to actually reach those buyers, and what better way to do that, of course, than online? Luxury buyers are online all the time. They're researching, they're browsing, they're comparing, and they're doing it across multiple devices. These are people who might start on their phone in the morning, switch to a tablet midday, and then finish the night on a laptop. And because they're so digitally active, our advertising has to meet them where they already are. The good news is that our campaigns consistently perform above those industry averages, which tells us that we're getting in front of the right audience and they're actually engaging with what we put out there. So when we talk about that strategic advertising, that's really what it comes down to, is showing up in the right place at the right time in front of the right buyer, exactly where they're most receptive. So now let's take a look at one of our signature digital campaigns that puts all four targeting strategies into action. This is our famous 1 million impressions campaign. This is where everything that we've discussed in terms of targeting really comes to life. This campaign guarantees that visibility. Your listing will be seen across premium sites like the Wall Street Journal, Forbes, and the New York Times. Each campaign includes digital banner ads designed around your property's best features, and you can target by city, zip code, income level, or lifestyle interest. Even use your wealth engine list to reach those qualified buyers. These ads don't just appear anywhere. They're placed in those trusted, high visibility environments where affluent audiences are already spending their time. And this becomes especially valuable in today's luxury market. Running a campaign like this can really help reignite that intention, create new momentum, and show your sellers that you're not waiting for buyers to come to you, you're going out to find them. On top of that wonderful 1 million impressions campaign, our program offers even more strategic multi-channel campaigns to really amplify your listings. For those looking for that similar program to our impressions campaign, but with the capabilities to implement strategies on your own and add in some of that real-time optimization, we recommend placing consistent boost ads throughout your listing. You can strategically use those wealth engine lists again, upload those lists or any other data that you've pulled through creating your buyer profile, and then target those location-specific buyers through their platform. Additionally, we also have premium print and digital media networks. Through the Coldwell Banker Global Luxury Advertising Program, you get access to some of the most trusted names in luxury media, both print and digital. We're talking about publications like Mansion Global, Robb Report, Elite Traveler, Lux Interiors and Design, and the Wall Street Journal. Altogether, this network includes over 35 premium titles across 6 global regions, reaching those affluent audiences already engaged with luxury real estate, design, travel, and lifestyle content. And this reach isn't just broad, it's targeted. Each publication speaks to a distinct lifestyle segment.
That's what I love about our advertising program, the unique variety of publications and the reach that we get. So some examples to speak to what Mandy just mentioned are Jouer, which connects you to luxury buyers in Asia, Boat International and Yachts and Yachting, which reach high net worth boating enthusiasts, and Lux Interiors and Design, which attracts audiences that are passionate about design and fine living, just to name a few.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you so much for sharing those. I think that just paints that perfect picture that, as you can see, it's really not just about exposure, it's really about that alignment. So you're positioning your property among the brands, the lifestyles, and the experiences that your buyers already aspire to. And then next, I want to talk about geofencing. So geofencing captures people physically near those specific locations. So this is especially powerful when you want to reach those prospects who already demonstrate behaviors or interests aligned with your listing. For example, if your property features state-of-the-art pickleball courts, you could create a geofence around the most affluent pickleball club in your area. Anyone who visits that club, whether they're playing, taking lessons, or even attending a tournament, can be served tailored ads showcasing your listing's premium courts and amenities. This ensures that your marketing dollars are spent reaching people who are not only active in the sport, but also likely to appreciate and afford the luxury elements of your property. And then last is connected TV. So this allows us to reach those highly specific audiences based on lifestyle, interests, and online behavior rather than broad demographics alone. So think of it as that traditional television commercials, but delivered through streaming platforms like Hulu, YouTube TV, or other demand services. I'm sure we've all seen a few of these ads before. I know I do on my nightly TV binge. So what makes it especially powerful for luxury marketing is that precision. We can align ads with the types of programs certain generations or lifestyle segments are already choosing to watch. Instead of casting that wide net, you're placing your message directly in front of viewers whose preferences and behaviors closely match your ideal client. And this is how we craft that multi-layered, precision-based strategies that move the right buyers toward engagement. We also want to take a moment. We're very excited about this. This is our newly imagined Coldwell magazine. So the first issue launched just last Friday. Hopefully you've all had the chance to take a look at it. We'll definitely be including a link to that when we follow up at the end here. So excited about this. It's a fantastic new publication spearheaded by the Global Luxury team. Michael Altnu just did a fantastic job putting this together. This magazine is true. It's like a true editorial. It's filled with beautifully curated lifestyle content that your most discerning clients will genuinely enjoy reading. So beyond being an exceptional publication and a great advertising opportunity, it also serves as that powerful touch point for your top clients. So you can share the digital edition through social media or email, or order printed copies to mail directly to your sphere. So this helps you stay relevant while really positioning you not only as that trusted expert in luxury real estate, but also as someone who understands and represents the luxury lifestyle that your clients live. Okay, so quick little pulse check here. Give me a thumbs up if you're still with me, but I know I've covered a lot of content today, so I just kind of want to recap what we've discussed in this last section. So we determined the why behind using data to really make those decisions, because luxury sellers are more informed than ever. We determined how to use data to make decisions by relying on the luxury marketing team, using tools like Wealth Engine and AI, to build a buyer profile using the 4 dimensions we learned, such as geographic, demographic, lifestyle, and behavioral targeting. And then last, we determined how we can actually reach those buyers through our targeted advertising. So next, we're going to take a look at our global luxury trend reports to see really how they can help us use data to guide those conversations with our clients. So the Coldwell Banker Global Luxury Trend Reports helps us understand not just what's happening, but why it's happening and who it impacts most. Instead of relying on assumptions or outdated norms, we use trend data to identify emerging buyer behaviors, shifting preferences and lifestyle patterns that influence purchasing decisions. Our luxury reports, the trend report and the mid-year report, are thoughtfully curated with the latest insights and market intelligence from those trusted sources. Since these reports come out twice a year, the data is always fresh and relevant, making it that reliable tool at your disposal to really demonstrate your luxury expertise and inform your intelligent marketing. Now let's explore why you should use the trend report to better inform your strategies. First, as we've mentioned time and time throughout the workshop today, luxury clients are really expecting an increasingly higher level of advisory input. Even the most seasoned sellers and buyers are navigating mixed signals right now, so that clarity is key. They want to understand why buyers are behaving the way that they do, why certain features command premiums, and why timing or presentation matters. More importantly, they want that hard proof behind the answers. When you bring this report into the conversation, you're able to provide clear, proven guidance. And then second, major client decisions on both the buy and the sell side are more data and lifestyle driven than ever. Wealth migration, shifting priorities, generational influences, and design preferences all really shape how clients define that value. The trend report gives you that context behind these forces to help you explain the reasoning for your recommendations. And then third, while luxury remains stable, buyers are becoming more discerning. When sellers understand those buyer motivations, they really become more open to guidance and less attached to the features buyers may no longer prioritize. The trend report gives you that context you need to set expectations thoughtfully and guide sellers toward choices that resonate with current buyer behavior. Now that we've learned how data can really inform and prepare us for these conversations with sellers, let's look at some of those additional resources to support that listing appointment. Callie, can you tell us about the listing presentation materials available?
Of course, yes. I'd love to jump into the pieces that we have available and what resources everyone here can use, whether they're a luxury property specialist or not, to really win those luxury listings. Starting with Express Docs, we have a variety of listing materials in Express Docs, such as the Global Luxury Black Box, which I'm sure many of you are familiar with, the Global Luxury Marketing Portfolio, and both the Trend Report and the Mid-Year Report. These supplemental resources, in addition to your listing presentation, can help you create a polished professional image. It's always best to have these materials on hand in advance. You never know when you may get the opportunity for a luxury listing presentation, and you always want to be prepared. If you want to have your listing presentation professionally printed, you can order that through Express Docs, or we'll talk about some options for digital and self-printing as well. In addition to that, you can also now customize and order the trend report in Express Docs and include that in your listing presentation bundle. And again, this will really position you as the true luxury expert in your marketplace, and all of your materials will have the cohesive look and luxurious feel. When preparing for a luxury listing appointment, it's essential to position yourself as a trusted advisor, which I'm sure we've mentioned before, but just to reiterate, and a true expert in the high-end market. Thoughtfully curated, tangible leave-behind materials not only reinforce your brand sophistication, but they also solidify your value proposition and leave a lasting impression that reflects the elevated experience that you deliver. So as I mentioned, we do have these same materials available in Marketing Center. There are listing presentations that are available for customization here in Marketing Center, as well as Moxie Present if that's your preferred platform. And these are available at no cost to you, and they can be presented digitally or printed and bound in the office or at home. If you're looking to really set yourself apart and want to create a truly one-of-a-kind presentation that reflects that unique value proposition as well as your services and branding to leave a lasting impression, then we recommend working with Design Concierge on a custom presentation. With Design Concierge, you can work with the designer to create a comprehensive listing presentation that's fully customized, from the fonts and the color scheme all the way to additional slides that are more specific to you, like client testimonials and notable sales. And you can include all of your personal branding and have it completely tailored to you and your business. You can also customize those pre-prepared slides that we have all about the Global Luxury Program and the things that make Coldwell Banker so amazing. While this might seem like a little bit longer of a production process that requires more time and effort to actually pull all of those pieces together, the product is well worth it. Bringing your own unique style makes you memorable and stand out in the pack, not just to the client, but to the other clients they're going to show your presentation to. And you can find inspiration and examples of these customized pieces in the Design Concierge portfolio if you're interested in maybe proceeding with that process. We do have our own section on global luxury in Desk that's dedicated to listing presentations. So here you'll find those talking points that we mentioned, as well as the links to our presentation templates. I quickly want to mention a few additional materials that you can use to prepare for your listing presentation, starting with our property marketing proposals, which are in Marketing Center, and those are available for high price listings starting at $2 million and up, which will specifically speak to each step in our global luxury listing guidebook. To complement the marketing proposal, bringing your own personal brochure if you have one, or past marketing materials like property brochures and mailers will really help speak to your brand and the kind of treatment that they would get if you took on their listing. You may also want to share some of our global luxury branded materials, such as our global luxury seller brochure, that marketing portfolio, and the trend report, all of which can be purchased through ExpressText or customized in Marketing Center. And as Mandy mentioned, we just premiered our new flagship publication, Cobalt Magazine, which would be a great asset to bring along as well to showcase our reach and position yourself as a luxury expert and a lifestyle resource. And lastly, bringing it back to data, which is why we're here, the most recent housing data will help back your CMA and speak to your local marketing expertise. So it's always great to bring that into your pitch as well. As we wrap up today's workshop, I want to remind you about our amazing marketing support resources that are available to you at coldwellbankermarketing.com. Here you can browse through the latest edition of the marketing catalog, sign up for an upcoming workshop, view on-demand marketing education via our YouTube channel, where this course will be recorded and placed as well, and book a virtual marketing appointment via Next Available. Global Luxury Program pro tip here: be strategic. Select, study, and implement one or two of the following from today's class into your business strategy, starting with defining your value proposition or signing up for Wealth Engine if you're a luxury property specialist. Prepare and customize your global luxury listing presentation. Review the global luxury trend report and make a note of points that are relevant to you and your market. Familiarize yourself with those talking points that we mentioned so you can speak confidently to the global luxury program. And most importantly, register for future workshops in this series so you can continue to expand your knowledge and grow your global luxury business. Okay, thank you all for attending our workshop. I know that was a lot of content, so we will provide all the links in the chat to everything that we referenced today, as well as our catalog to upcoming global luxury workshops.